Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
Wait for it.
He's not closing all the way. Daniel,
Yeah,
Rex,
yeah. Okay.
Whiskey, Old Forester.
Hey,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
This
nice.
is a gift from Steve Boetscher, a magnificent bastard.
Boetram?
I don't Boetscher. I think Boetschcher. Boetscher?
Steve Boetscher, you magnificent
Bastard.
He's been waiting for this for a long
Accurate.
time.
Nice. Old
Forester Rye, which is a new thing for them.
Okay.
Right, now Old Forester, this name is not a new name. This is one of the only distilleries that predates Prohibition and was active throughout Prohibition.
Knowing what you know about Old Forester,
Yeah.
do you think they went classic, like the spice and like the herbal qualities, or do you think maybe they went a different angle, something new,
I
unique?
think they went classic.
You think they went classic?
Rye. Kentucky Rye,
Okay.
not like Monongahela or MGP.
Okay.
Right?
Still haven't nosed this yet.
Yeah.
My preference of all the rye so far is generally going to be in the Monongahela ryes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get in here.
Okay, so this is 65% rye, 20% malted barley, and then 15 corn. So the second grain is barley, not corn, which should give you some interesting things. Oh, that's pretty.
I gotta tell you though,
Soft and candied.
very candied.
Yeah.
First approach, this is more of a sweet bourbony nose for me than classic rye.
Yes, absolutely. It's got the candied cherry note. It's got, but it's a little
like
bit more.
A sweet corn. You know, like the sweet corn on the cob? Yeah.
Yeah, but it is like an open candy bin, or like hard candy. Like this is all
very sweet.
Hard.
We're living in the sugary end of the spectrum.
Yes.
And then there's like a nice. You know what? It smelled like what's that? Sporting Goods Cabela's.
Yeah.
It
I
does.
can see what you mean by that.
Yeah, it's like a lot of woods and natural materials.
But it's rounded, so all the sweetness has this rounded approach to it. I think that's got to be the barley.
Cabela's is a store.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like outdoors.
Camping
store.
and hunting and fishing.
Everything. Yeah.
Again with the sweet. Wow.
Oh, there it is. The
Grassy?
spice is on the back third of the palate.
Yeah.
Where it sort of goes into this bitey, peppery, herbal spice.
It's a spicy grassy for me.
Yeah, then softens into what I think is that green grass note.
And then I think the note that's been on the nose and on the taste for me that we haven't even nodded to at all, there's like a dark caramel quality.
Yeah, that's why I think I was getting with the round, darker, it's a rounded, rich sweetness.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
like this.
Yeah, and there's there's almost like a minty tea.
I think this is a bourbon drinker's rye. Like if you prefer bourbon as a category, this is it's going to meet more of the bourbon need than like the dramatic allspice, dill, no dill.
So maybe because it's literally it's the second whiskey of the day, but it's been hours since I had the first. What do you think the proof is on this? Because I'm getting some lively.
Yeah, I'm going to say
springiness.
mid-40s.
Mid-40s. This is that 50%?
Oh, it's 100
Oh,
proof.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
right, a fry. I actually, now that you say that, I remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
It tastes every bit 100 proof. The alcohol layer is there, but also the flavors are keeping up with that too.
I think my brain is interpreting that alcohol bite. I think that's accurate, but my brain's interpreting it as spice, not as an alcohol bite. I really like this. There's sort of a molasses,
It's a
wooden molasses note.
I want to go back and emphasize the wood too, because every time I go back, the layers are getting pulled away from that oakiness.
Yeah.
That keeps,
Dig it.
Ian Albert, new tagline for the channel. This is a whiskey review channel. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I like that.
Profilnator. Remember that old gag of putting shoe polish on something like binoculars to give a person a black ring around the wrist? Rex's facial hair looks like he put his face in a jar. That was just shoe polish. My kids call me a zebra.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got these things going on right here.
It's almost more like you drink coffee really sloppy, and so it's always spilling down the sides, but never anywhere else.
I got gray puffs here and here. And
mine's mostly dark on the sides.
So if I wanted to look a lot younger,
Yeah.
I would just shave the gray and then have like this dark handlebar mustache. It just
Yeah,
goes down.
but then you have to wear a hat all the time.
I just
Yeah.
yeah. At a first run at Rye, you said this is like their first rye? Is this their first ever, or is it the first wide release of a rye?
First, I don't know if it's ever, because I don't know if they've historically done some weird ones, but large release, this one's in the last few years that they've started releasing this rye.
Okay, so I'm looking at the clock because we have a limited hard drive space, trying to keep it tight.
Yeah.
We're not even at 6 minutes though.
No, I know, but we're fine, we got time.
Okay, so I was about to do the fighting, stealing, and drinking. I was like, well, that wasn't,
that was short.
That wasn't an episode.
The cool thing about these guys, first people to put whiskey in a bottle. Sell it by the bottle. Not put it, right? Okay. So back in the day when you would buy a barrel of whiskey for a bar and people would bring their own containers or they would pour it from the barrel in shots, these were the first people, George Garvin Brown, the first guy to sell whiskey by the bottle to the consumer.
It's a high rye bourbon for me on the taste. I would have guessed.
Really?
If I was going in blind, I would say.
I just put the words in order of what you.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
For me, I would have guessed a bourbon with a meaningful amount of rye in that mash bill.
Which is ironic because it's the least amount of corn of any rye that we've had in a long time.
Yeah, that's surprising to me. Okay. So, Old Forester.
I like it.
I'm going to, since we have a few minutes, I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Okay.
Because we're going into the 2022, it's like we got a lot of craft to get through. Some are going to be amazing. Some are going to be hidden gems. Some are going to be like, oh gosh, how many times am I going to have, a white labeled MGP, whatever the hell.
Right.
What if, and I floated this idea before, and if I've learned, if I float something, here's a lot of nodding heads and then nothing comes of it. But I'm going to say, what if, and I'm going to float it with on a scale of 1 to 5, how important I think it is. This is like a solid 4. What if, to keep to keep whiskeys that are rare and craft and hard to get, to keep those relevant, what if we did every single time a hard to get craft whiskey, we did it a comparison, what is it called, a comparative tasting, with something with a similar mash bill that is actually findable.
We did that for a while, but it ended up being a lot of whiskey to drink at a time. Like a lot of whiskey to drink at a time.
But relevant.
We need to go back to shooting twice a week if we're going to do that.
No, that's not a thing at all.
Yeah.
But relevance, though. For example, let's say this was super rare and hard to come by.
Yeah.
And the high rye mash bill. Right? It's like, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be the exact same mash bill, but maybe a high rye MGP.
Right.
Something that people have had a dozen times before. That's what's going to happen, though.
We'll see.
That's the thing.
We'll see.
And then we can have a recognizable thing you can get your hands on,
right,
compared to this thing. So you know, oh, well, triangulating the flavors, and then you bring it here.
Only on the really rare ones.
Which is like...
But even then,
which is like, hold on, this is like 8 out of 10 whiskeys.
No, like I wouldn't do it with an MGP. Like if we got another MGP, it's like, we know what this is. We're not going to compare it.
I agree. But I'm talking about craft stuff.
Yeah. I'm thinking, let me think through it. I like the idea, and I agree that it would be a superior episode. But I'm also trying to figure out, like, dude, how are we going to manage this with our current schedule and our current life without drinking like 15 whiskeys every shoot and making the rest of our day a total shit show?
I didn't even finish that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. 15
One more important point.
Oh, Lord. All right. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
You fight for a friend. In the comments, do you agree?
Yeah, of course they will. Yeah.
Rare stuff compared to something you get your hands on. So you know, well, the rare thing has more oak or less honey. Fight me, steal,
they don't have to come and drink 18 whiskeys.
And if you drink, I mean, get to is the word. Not have to, get to. Yeah. And if you drink,
may you drink with us.